favorite character is, it's gonna have to be the main character, I would say.
Pat?
Yeah,
or,
Pat.
Yep.
Yeah, right, Pat?
Yeah, Anton.
And only because, like, when he gets, like, mauled by them, like his whole arm, like, he is, like, he gets hysterical for a second, and then he, like, it kind of wears off, and they're, like, patching up his arm. I guess I'm trying to say he's, like, a trooper, because I don't...
Survival mode kicks in for him.
Yeah, like, the adrenaline kicks in, and you're not feeling that pain, even though, like, you just bled a bunch, and you're cut to the point where your hand might come off, like, so I think he might be my favorite character, because he is hysterical when it happens, and then kind of, like, it gives him a different perspective. It kicks him into, like, survival mode, and he's just like, I'm gonna do anything I can to get out of this situation.
I think you just liked him because he played bass, like Tim.
Oh, that's what it is.
I was bummed. I was like, his arms tore up. He's not going to be able to play bass anymore.
Yeah, did you guys notice that? That it was just like, they took away, like, what they love to do, you know what I mean? Like, the vocalist got his throat tore out and stuff, and it was kind of painful, at least for Pat's character, to lose his arm kind of function like that. Because you could tell that he really loved to play. Tim?
My favorite character was probably the skinhead girl. I don't know. Amber. Yeah, because I thought she was pretty cute. And, and she had some pretty gnarly kills. Like, I don't know, the box cutter to the stomach on that dude was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was gnarly.
Yeah.
And it's quiet, so it's that much more worse.
Yeah.
I think she, like, didn't care because she knew these guys well. She was like, look at what they did to my friends. Like, we do it to them first before they do it to us.
Right, yeah, and she really didn't hesitate on any of those moments. Like, she shot the other dude with the shotgun, like, just for turning around and saying one word.
He was like, wait, or something.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it. Bye.
And then then he's like, are we doing this? And she's like, well, yeah, what did we walk out here for? She was pretty badass. Like, she kind of was the no fear one.
I think I had heard you over talking to Annie during the film, and you thought that she was going to turn on them.
Yeah.
And she never does.
Spoiler.
No, and I think when no one's trusting her at the beginning, like, she's like, give me the gun, and, like, people are like, no. I don't think she really gets that badass, like, courage until that story of the paintball happens. Like, very end, she's like, okay, that's what I needed to hear, that we can do this. Like, I've got this. So I think she was getting there, and that, like, pep talk kind of, like, takes her over the edge, and she's like, yep, we've got this, we're going to do this.
Yeah. My turn?
Yeah.
I guess Anton's character. I really like the part where where they decide to shave his head.
Yeah.
And then they come in and he's yelling out German words or whatever. And then they like who the fuck are you? And he's like Odin reincarnated or whatever. And then I thought that was really cool. But when you're talking about his arm getting mauled or whatever, for me in movies that really bugs me when like the main character gets like a limb cut off and they still live, because at least I think about like the future repercussions of like if they're a real person, like how's that going to affect the rest of their life? Like I'm thinking like in the future, like, oh man, what if he goes to the hospital and they say he has to cut it off, and then I'm like, he's going to have one hand now. Like, he's never going to get a girlfriend, or, it's just little things like that bug me. I don't know. It's just something I think about during movies. But, and the whole part when you brought it up when the girl shoots the guy for just talking, he's like, oh, we're doing that now? And he's like, and she says, yeah, what do you think we're doing? And then he's like, I thought we were just going to come mess up the crime scene or whatever. And then I was like, oh my God. And he's just not really, I think he doesn't think in the, for the future, because I know that he probably just came there like, oh, I'm going to fuck up this crime scene and then I'm going to die.
Right.
But But yeah, I think I like his character.
Well, he had come back to he wanted to know whether his friends were really dead or
Yeah.
not. Or at least the last guy that they didn't see die.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
My favorite character was Amber as well, because she's too fine. Yeah, and she was just a great character. I love how she, going into it, you think that she's sketchy and she proves everybody wrong. And she has a lot of really good dialogue. Like when the lights go out and she does the lighter thing. That's one of the more epic parts of the film. Yeah, I just thought she did really well, and that actress, Imogen, doesn't really get to do gritty stuff like this too often, so it was cool to see her like in that light, and that she killed it so well. My next, would you guys buy this film?
Yeah, I would. I think it's good. It doesn't fit in my stoner collection. But, no, I'm playing. No, it was good. I thought it was. I think going back to like maybe why I gave it an 8.5 is because I thought maybe the skinheads could have been a little bigger, a little scarier, maybe not as skinny.
I feel like the crew that were with Darcy were kind of like upping. They look like runts, you know,
like the newbies.
I don't know if that was on purpose, because the guys that they kick out, that they send away, that actually killed the girl, they look scary.
Yeah.
And then they kicked them out or whatever. So I don't know. I feel like that was.
The reason I mention it too is because you know how Darcy gives him the red
laces.
Yes. It was almost like all these guys were still trying to prove themselves, like so they are like the runs or the newbies, you know. So I think that might be why they were so scrawny, but on the flip side, I did like and appreciate that Amber was this smaller like girl that you would see at a show, like where they're smaller with like their tight pants and the Chelsea haircut. Like it was like, oh yeah, I've probably seen her. So yeah, I did appreciate that.
Before we move on to Tim, I just wanted to piggyback on that and say that I really like that they included the laces kind of culture, because that's a real thing. You know, you can argue that the laces don't mean anything, but they do. But it's really like, do these people believe that they mean something? You know what I mean? And so it was cool that they kind of included. They did that without shoving it down your throat. You know what I mean? Like. People who aren't familiar with that culture won't really know. They're like, oh, what does that mean? Right. Because they're not like, oh, this means that you're willing to kill for us or whatever. They don't tell you that outright, right? You know what I mean? And I like that. It's kind of like, let the viewers kind of fill in the gaps a little bit.
It's like gang culture, like with, you know, wearing the colors, or even like motorcycle gang culture with getting patched in and all that. So yeah, I like that they showed that side of that culture. Not that
it's anything to be glorified or whatever, but I just think it's being kind of brutally honest or whatever.
If I would buy it, well, Annie's already gonna buy it, so I don't need to. It'll be at my house, but yeah, I liked it. I would recommend someone watch it.
Nice. I was hoping you guys both would, because of like the kind of how it's rooted like in punk rock or whatever. I thought that'll lead us to the last question once we close.
I think I'll probably buy it on Friday when we get paid.
Okay.
I just don't have money right now.
I've been hitting gold with this guy because he wanted to buy The Guest too, our last week's film. He hadn't seen that, and he watched it for the first time and was like, this movie was dope. Whatever, he was all stoked. So it's cool. I'm glad that you guys like what I'm doing.
I like your movies.
If you do the swan stamp of approval, that's gold right there.
I try.
Yeah.
We watched my copy, so you guys know I seen this. I seen it in the theater.
You get a bite on 4K
now. I'm waiting for the vinyl to come out. It's not out yet.
soundtrack.
Yeah, that'll be cool when that comes out. But anyway, we'll get into my final question for you guys. Do you guys agree that this could potentially be a landmark film for punk that would sit alongside films like A Clockwork Orange, SLC Punk, or the more racially charged films like Romper Stomper or American History X?
I think because it's I hadn't heard of it. I think I had said I had put up the trailer on my Facebook, and I never actually went through and watched it.
Yeah.
But I knew it had some bases that it would be something like that. So I think maybe it just hasn't been watched enough, because I don't know of anyone who else has watched it, but I can maybe count a few people who have seen Salt Lake City Punk and Romper Stompers and all these other films. But this one was the first one that you're the first person I know who's seen this movie. So maybe just not enough people have seen it.
Yeah, well,
to get to that point.
It's still fairly new, and it had a quiet release. It's it's obviously an independent film, and it didn't have a very big theatrical release. And when it was in the theaters, it didn't do very well because you have to spend money on marketing, and I'm sure they didn't have a lot there. But all the people that I know that have seen it have loved the film. Mm-hmm. But like you said, I think just not a lot of people have gotten around to seeing it. But I feel like that's not really what I'm asking. Is it going to be well received with the masses? But I mean, as more, did it hit you the way that those films hit you when you first watched them? Was it as epic as American History X or any of those films that are kind of grounded in that world? Watching them for the first time, personally, those films really got to me, and I was like, damn, this is a movie I could watch probably every day and not get bored of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. And only because it is more true to what happens when you're booking shows and you're on tour, and what these actual people might look like.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say yes. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna love it more than Salt Lake City Punk.
I'm not saying more. I'm saying what would it
But
could it eventually later on? Is it gonna okay? Here's a good example. So for SLC Punk, I feel when I was in middle school or high school, that would be the VHS that all the friends would pass around and be like, "Oh, you haven't seen that shit? Here, check this out." Almost like a rite of passage kind of film. You need to fucking see this or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like you're waiting for me to say something like that. I don't know if I'm gonna get to that point. I definitely will text my sisters and be like, "Watch this." One, because she'll just really seeing all these this culture and scene on a movie, and the other one because I just know she's gonna like the thrill of it, that it's a thriller and there's a little bit of gore, but not crazy. I mean, so I think it's gonna satisfy both. So yeah, if you mean am I gonna go past tell the whole world? Yeah,
I don't even know what I mean anymore.
But I mean, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna give you an answer that you're gonna like. You asked that question 3 different ways.
So I think, as far as comparing it to A Clockwork Orange, I think that's different in the punk rock community just because it's so emulated.
Yeah.
And you see people dressed like droogs. I saw a ton at It's Not Dead Fest this weekend.
I mean, the addicts were there.
Yeah.
If that's not
but I just saw a bunch of people in bowler hats
and
and suspenders and stuff, and but this movie, I feel it kind of stands alone as a thriller with a punk rock backdrop,
But it's not necessarily a punk rock movie.
Right.
But it's immersed in that world.
Right.
Okay.
And I think that's that makes it different and stand out, and I like it.